On-prem Active Directory databases can grow to thousands or tens of thousands of objects, users, groups, computers, whatever. Um, when they get that big, it can be a little difficult sometimes to manage. So there's a couple of aspects here. One is actually finding the objects to be able to do what we need to do with them, edit, change, update, delete, whatever. And the other is some security implications. Well, we can address both of these using what we call an organizational unit. So I'm going to start by opening up Active Directory users and computers, and we're going to do a little work with organizational units. Now, as you look here, you'll see our container items, and you'll see domain controllers and sales. This is one that I played with earlier. Both have this other funky little icon. All right, that indicates that they are an organizational unit rather than a folder. If we want to create a new organizational unit, let's say we want to create an organizational unit for marketing. So I'm going to go to the domain, and I'm going to right click and create a new, and I'm going to come down here and choose organizational unit. I'm going to call this marketing. Now you'll notice there is a default option right here called protect container from accidental deletion. And the idea behind this is if you delete an organizational unit, it will delete the organizational unit and every object that it contains. So by protecting this from accidental deletion, what happens is it means we can't accidentally delete the OU and potentially wipe out dozens or hundreds or thousands of objects at the same time. So it's kind of a self-protection thing. So I'm going to click OK, and that's going to create my new organizational unit. Now, in this organizational unit, I can put computers, users, groups, whatever. Now, one reason to do this is to help organize. So you see now I've got one for sales, and so I can have all of my sales stuff in here, and one for marketing, and I can have all of my marketing users and computers and groups in here. And so it just makes it easier for me to get to things and find things. But there's a couple of other things involved in it. So one is, let me right click here, I can delegate control. So if I've got thousands or tens of thousands of objects, I might have more than one administrator trying to admin this system. And one of the things I can do is I can delegate control of my organizational unit to another admin. Now, means they don't have to be a domain admin, right? They might have more limited permissions, but I can give them control of this organizational unit, and then they can work with objects that are in this organizational unit, but maybe not objects that are in other organizational units. So it lets us separate out some of that administrative responsibility. I just click Delegate Control. Let me move this down here. Next, and then I'll pick the user that I want to delegate control to. I will find one. I don't even know if I have any users in here. It's been too long since I don't have a username name. Let me do this. I'm going to find one real quick because I've created a handful of users. Let me look in my sales. Okay, I've got a Steve one. So I'm going to right click, delegate control, and I'm going to click add for who I want to delegate to. And I'm going to delegate this to Steve. And I'm going to check name, and it's going to find Steve Hartman. I hit OK. And then next, and then I can say what Steve is allowed to do. So here are my delegate common tasks. And you can scroll down through here and see all of the tasks that we can typically do. And so what that does is that means I can have this person now manage those functions inside this organizational unit. Now, another reason that we will do organizational units, I'm going to cancel this because I don't actually want to do it. Another reason we use organizational units, and we're going to talk about this more later, we're not going to talk about it a whole lot right now, but that is I can assign group policies to organizational units. Now, a key thing here is I can create organizational units inside organizational units. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a new organizational unit, and this is going to be for my internet marketing department. And I'm going to create that one, and then I'm going to create another one, new organizational unit. And this is going to be for my traditional media marketing. Okay, and there we go. Now I've got sub-organizational units. And when I do group policies, if I apply a group policy here, it will impact these others as well. Okay. And then the third reason, so number one, it simplifies administrative control by allowing me to delegate control. Number two is it allows me to apply group policies, which I can use to secure things and restrict permissions and access. And number three is it now makes it easier for me to find other objects. So people, computers, whatever can be put inside these organizational units. Okay, there we go. Now, let's say that I wanted to go ahead and delete an organizational unit. So I want to delete internet, but I accidentally miss and I try to delete marketing instead. And it says, no, I'm sorry, you don't have to do that. And the error message is a little deceiving. It says you do not have sufficient privileges. And it's like, what do you mean I don't have? I'm the primary admin. What do you mean I don't have permissions? Well, what's going on is you can't delete it because it's protected from accidental deletion. So here's how we do this. I'm going to right click on internet. Actually, no, before I do that, I have to come up to view. And I say I want to view advanced features. And then I can expand marketing. And notice I got a lot more things here now that I have advanced features. I can right click on internet and I can look at my properties. This is going to show me my properties of my OU, some of which, by the way, are available without that those advanced options being viewable. So I can set a description, address if it's relevant, who manages it. And then on my object here is where I can uncheck protect from accidental deletion. Apply. Okay, I'm going to go do the same thing to traditional media. I'm just going to put everybody in my marketing OU. So properties, object, and uncheck protect from accidental deletion. All right, now that I've done that, I don't want to view these advanced features all the time, so I'm going to uncheck that. Now I still can't delete marketing because I didn't uncheck that one, right? Oops, didn't want to do properties. I wanted to do a delete. So I still can't delete marketing, but now that I've unprotected these two, I can go ahead and delete internet and traditional media. Okay, there we go. Creating and working with organizational units.